What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so this is a requested video for one of my subscribers, and they wanted me to talk about Russell Westbrook. And if he retires, I should say, excuse me, when he retires, because it appears he's going to play next year. Hopefully it's in the NBA. Though perhaps he can make more money playing overseas, but hopefully Russ continues in the league. Even though we know the media have done everything they can to try to destroy this man's career. But anyway, if he continues, let's say for a couple of more seasons, let's say 2 more years, can Russ retire as a consensus top 5 all-time point guard? I tend to think that when people think top 5 all-time point guards, right, people usually have Magic Johnson penciled in, right? Now you have people penciling in Steph Curry at number 2, right? You still have Oscar Robertson up there, number 3. Isaiah Thomas is usually still among the top 4. And at number 5 kind of shifts a little bit. Sometimes it could be, I've seen people put Chris Paul there. I've seen people put John Stockton there. I've seen people, put Gary Payton there, right? Now, of the 3 I just mentioned, or sometimes Jason Kidd, right? Now, of the 4 I just mentioned, the last 2, Gary Payton and Jason Kidd, have championships. So I'm going to get into that a little bit later on. Now, when you look at Russell Westbrook and what he has accomplished, I believe he's a 9-time All-Star. He has an MVP award. He led the league in scoring twice. He's a 2-time All-Star Game MVP. He's led the league in assists 3 times. He's done something that no other player in the history of the NBA has done, even though it's always downplayed. He averaged a triple-double for the season 4 different times, including 3 consecutive seasons in a row. But it's severely downplayed when he did it. You know what I mean? And even when Kevin Durant left, and it was expected that those Thunder teams were only going to win 30 games, despite those expectations they were going to win 30, 35 games, Russ led them to a 46 or 47 win season and made the playoffs. But, Russ gets criticized for things that he doesn't do well. And those things were outside shooting. And because of Russ's play style, he tends to have some high turnovers. But only Russell Westbrook's turnovers seem to matter. Everyone else's in the history of the NBA, their turnovers don't matter for some reason. Russ is, I think it's something like a 5-time, I want to say 5 times first team All-NBA player. I can't remember all the selections, but first, second, third team all time, first, second, and third team selections collectively probably accounts to 9 or 10 altogether. Won Olympic gold medal in 2012 in London. So this is a Hall of Fame player, top 75 guy. We can't question that. No matter how you feel about Russell Westbrook, he's one of the all-time greats. Now, a top 5, I think it would really help his case if he won a championship. Even if, at this stage of his career, he's not the main cog. If he could win a championship, I think that would definitely help his case. But also, luckily for Russell Westbrook, if he won a championship, right, over the next couple of years, in addition to some very amazing statistical achievements that he will likely roll through over the next couple of years. For instance, I think he's only 500 or so points away from passing Oscar Robertson for most points ever in the NBA for a point guard. Oscar had 26,710 points. Russ is well over 26,000. I think he's at 26,200. Russ is also on the verge of passing Jason Kidd for the most for the most rebounds collected ever for a point guard. Right? And I think he's already, or if not already passed Kidd for most offensive rebounds for a point guard. Russ is also closing in on 2,000 career steals, which, if he were to collect another 100 or so, would put him at 2,100 or 2,150, depending upon how many he gets. And I think that would put him fourth all time for point guards behind John Stockton, Gary Payton, and I want to say Maurice Cheeks. But I can't be certain. I have to look at the list. Another thing that he is on the verge of doing too is that he's right on the verge of becoming just the second player in the history of the NBA with 25,000 points and 10,000 rebounds. The only other guy to do that is LeBron James. So if you have all of these other milestone accomplishments in addition to winning a championship, I think that would help to solidify more a case for him being a top 5 all-time point guard. As it is right now, I think most of us would agree that Russ is a top 10 all-time point guard. And some might even say top 7 or 8. So a championship plus the statistical accomplishments will, I think, solidify him as a top 5 guy, a point guard at that position. Without the championship, even the statistical accomplishments might be enough, but people are going to try to find instinctively, because he's one of the most disliked and most disrespected players in the history of the league. They're going to be searching for reasons why not to put him there. And it's just one of those things, Chris Paul doesn't have to win a championship, and he gets all this adulation and praise. Russ, on the other hand, even if he wins a championship, people are going to still find ways to try to disqualify him in some way. But anyway, that's all I got to say about this particular video. Tell me what you guys think.